Smash Ultimate is probably filled with the most good characters in any Smash game, and there's so many options for you to become one of the best players in the world, and I am very excited when it comes to that. But there are characters who I feel like would be way more common if they weren't just weirdly difficult to play for a reason or another, and I wanted to talk about that today. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers, and we're so close. I would love for you to be a part of that, and I would appreciate it a lot. Let's get to 3,000, so let's get into it. First, let's talk about Greninja. Greninja feels like a substitute Fox, having such an incredible dash attack, really good juggle combos, super fast, and has the range to make it so that this character is known as the sword killer, making it so that he can whiff punish from any distance and get a full combo from it, making him so frustrating for anyone who uses a sword because the sword characters have to swing in a radius around him while his whiff punish is so good against jumping characters. We've had a lot of great Greninjas throughout the years, and while he does look like he'd be easy to pick up, he has a few things about his kit that make him kind of frustrating versus the top characters in the game. For one, his shield game. While he is super fast, because he doesn't have a great fast aerial out of shield or really a good tilt out of shield, he has to rely on footstool to actually get a punish on people who spam things on his shield, making it so he has a weird shield game where he has to make guesses about what they do after instead of directly punishing people who mash on him, and there are a lot of characters who can mash on him. His grab is very big but very slow, meaning that if you hit his shield and they try to grab you, you can usually mash something else with characters like Mario, Pyramithra, Pikachu, Diddy Kong, and a lot more. This makes it so Greninja probably relies on dashback way more than any other good character in the game because he can't directly punish things that other characters really can. He also has that mixture of being really weird with his combos. He has incredible combos, don't get me wrong, but they're also inconsistent due to the fact that they're mostly 50-50s. He has down throw, forward air, it only works on certain jumps and isn't going to be a confirm in most DIs. He has a good down tilt up smash, but it works sometimes. It feels like one of the most inconsistent up smashes in the game because you either works incredibly and you kill at 80 or they fall out because you touch the platform a little bit. It's disgusting. Even matchups you'd assume he'd do well, like Rob, Kazuya, and Min Min, he has either a shield that makes it hard for him to deal with the pressure, which is Rob. He has a recovery that makes it so he actually gets bullied off stage in Min Min's case, or he has a disadvantage, which while isn't terrible, does lead to him getting abused once he's above somebody like Kazuya. Like I said before, I think he has good matchups, and I have seen good Greninjas do well, but to win a major with this character would be so hard because Steve will be mashing on him, Sonic will just avoid him entirely, and the characters that he probably does well against probably still have a state of the game they can abuse to make it so it's not that easy for Greninja. While I think Greninja does well against sword characters, they're also very good at the shield play state of the game, and he struggles with that. So if he can just avoid them with whip punishing all the time, sure, it can work, but a lot of top players are used to that kind of playstyle, and it sucks that he can't be great all the time in every state of the game. His difficulty mixed with his inconsistency with his combos and his kill confirms makes it so he is weirdly difficult even if he's kind of like Fox. He doesn't have the consistency that Fox brings. Next up, we're going to be talking about Shulk, and Shulk feels like he would be one of the most consistent, easy to understand characters because two of his moves are incredible with forward air and nair. Spam that in neutral, you don't get punished, and if you get the hit, you can knock them off stage, which leads to a free edge guard because you can switch to smash art and kill people at 40. That's all you have to do, right? Well, it starts being hard once you fight people who A, have frame data, B, can parry, and C, don't go off stage every time they get hit. I think a lot of people oversimplify how difficult it is to decide which Monado art you need to choose and when you decide to use it. Yes, you can technically adapt to every situation. Use your speed ones to catch up or camp. Use your jump ones to go higher. Use your buster to do more damage. Use your smash one when you want to kill. But because you don't get to spam this over and over, and they do have a timer, making that decision is extremely important because it doesn't just change how strong you are, but the stats you have and the attributes you have as well. It makes it so you have to make more decisions than a lot of other characters in the game, especially because you can't just spam forward air and nair all the time to beat everybody, and you have to use this decision making in a weird non-smash like way. I think when it comes to just the thought process of neutral, this is probably one of the most respectable characters, even if it does look like he's just spamming forward air and nair over and over. I think the biggest contributing factor that makes Shulk go down in people's minds over the years is definitely his frame data. While his moves are gigantic and are nasty with the range, it does feel like he is a bit slow, meaning that if you are good at parrying or have a character with great out of shield and can get in on him, he can't really get out without just using shield art, which he only can use for a few times a game. I feel like his best case scenario is fighting someone like Mario, where the range difference is so big that it matters a lot and it turns out to be one of Mario's hardest matchups, but he still does have to struggle against the frame data difference, and Mario is more edge guardable than a lot of Shulk's bad matchups. Snake is one of the most popular characters in the game, and the grenades make it really difficult for him to swing his big sword without getting hit and comboed off of it. Diddy Kong, of course, having Manetta makes it so that even though Shulk can spam these aerials, he can't do it for free because getting whiff punish from across the stage is still possible. And even though there are matchups that feel like they should be free wins for Shulk, it still feels like he has one or two things missing from his kit to play Smash normally. Shulk plays so differently from all the other sword characters that he's definitely the weirdest one. If you want to pick up a sword character, I mean, you have Cloud and Pyramithra for the easy ones, because this one takes some dedication. And finally, we have Sora. When Sora came out, everyone knew immediately that this character was a combo character, a combo demon, and the people who were going to be in the training mode doing the zero to death stuff were going to be incredible, right? This was the new potential character. This guy was going to ruin the game. He has zero to deaths on everybody. It's disgusting. And then you play him and you start realizing, man, these combos are hard to get in the first place, and even when I do get them, these are one of the hardest combos to perform ever. Sora's Nair and Fair are disgusting. Not only are they gigantic, but they lead to a combo game that feels like he could just be a Kazuya Luigi. But the problem is that he is nowhere near as easy as those characters, and even when he does get the hit, you have to be at perfect percents and doing things that really take way more dedication than you could ever do with Kazuya Luigi. Yes, he does have the kill confirms that are pretty easy. You could do Nair Nair, Nair Fair to up smash, or Nair Nair, Nair Nair up B. Those aren't too hard. When it comes to a character that everyone thought was going to ruin the game, he's a bit more difficult than people give him credit for. In an ideal world, you're fighting against heavy characters to make your combo game look sick, and even if they don't die, they take a billion damage. But unfortunately, with 80 characters in the game and most of the top tiers, you're not fighting heavy characters all the time. With the percent windows and fall speeds making it so your combo has to change, mixed with the platforms being near you, mixing with their DI, it means you have to follow them a lot, and it has a lot of effort if you don't get the right hits. Not gonna say it's super difficult to get like 30 or 40%, but to let it kill, you have to basically be perfect. And being perfect is hard to do in tournament. If Sora isn't spamming Nair and Fair, it feels like his range is extremely fake, like he's not a real sword character. And it feels like even characters like Mario can outrange him and fight him a lot, which means that Soras have to rely on Nair and Fair for pretty much anything they want to do in neutral. And if you can deal with those two moves, it becomes a lot more difficult to fight people. Characters with bigger range than you, characters that are faster than you, characters with better frame data than you. There are so many ways to deal with Fair and Nair, even if they're nasty, that you pretty much have to just rely on matchup and experience to not get bodied for spamming them too much. Of course, you still have amazing players like Kameme, who even though he doesn't do the zero to death stuff, did do well with Sora, but then you start realizing that he plays him more like the projectile based character instead of the sword character, and that's where his strengths seem to lie nowadays. You find Soras that spam Fair and Nair in neutral just to deal with people rushing at them because he has to do it preemptively not to get rushed at, and then using projectiles a lot more in the corner because he actually has some pretty good moves there. And even if you're not going to become the zero to death demon that we thought that Sora was going to be, the projectiles, while are good, aren't that good to say that he is one of the top tier characters that we expected him to become. Even if we never get the zero to death demon that we expected Sora to be, and even if he does get bullied and disadvantaged by a bunch of different characters, I still think that with his projectiles, his moves being big, Fair and Nair being strong and neutral, and his overall combo game not being the most difficult thing if you keep it simple, I still think that Sora has a lot of good stuff about him that can make him a solid character. But I feel like the zero to death demon that just need to go in training mode and do zero to deaths for free is just not what he became, and he's a lot harder than people give him credit for. But what do you guys think? Do you think I'm off base? Do you think these characters are super free and easy? Let me know in the comments below. I still think that these characters are all pretty damn good and are very close to top tier, but the weirdness and the difficulty is probably why we'll never see that many of them. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you later.